Welcome to the raw and uncensored Ambitchious Podcast. During our time here together, I will be instilling all of the strength, power, and determination you will need to use the very stones thrown at you to build your ultimate empire. We will redefine the word bitch from the derogatory to the acronym being in total control of herself. So let's adjust our crowns and prepare to live life ambitiously.
Yeah, here I am, the original HBIC, Katie motherfucking Boyd. And on today's episode of the Ambitchious Podcast, I am going to humor all of you because let me tell you, I don't know what the fuck has been going on, but people are so fucking annoying. Am I the only one that is just so fucking annoyed by people? I know on last week's podcast, I was kind of alluding to this, and then I've had a couple more annoying things happen to me, and I'm like, you know what? People need to be fucking called to the motherfucking carpet. They need to be called to the motherfucking carpet. And I'm sure that I'm so fucking annoying to people too. Usually I'm annoying to people because I'm usually always right, and then I say shit and people like annoyed by it and they get pissed off and they hate me, but at the end, they love me because they know I'm fucking right. Or they're just so fucking annoying that they can't even see their nose in front of their faces. So today I'm going to talk about how to really pinpoint if people are just really fucking annoying and how to deal with it. Because lately I've been so fucking aggravated with people and I'm like, oh my God, Katie, like you're a spiritual being. You're a kind, loving human. You like, you know, really tout yourself as being like super energetically and spiritually evolved. Why are people bothering you so bad lately? And usually what happens is when you start to revert back to old energy, it usually is a good sign. I know that you're going to be like, really, Katie? It's a good sign because it's almost like, you know, they say like to go forward, you have to pull the bow back, right? Anytime like an archer is going to release the bow and from the arrow, how the fuck do you do it? The arrow from the bow? Yeah, that's what it is. Anytime an archer is going to release the arrow from the bow, you have to pull the string back with the arrow and then you release it. And it's the same way with evolution of spirituality and energetics, where usually when you're about to like level up, usually you see yourself reverting back to old fuck it up patterns. And I will tell you that I've noticed that a little bit about myself lately, and I'm working on it. Because I'm an ambitious lady, and ambitious ladies, when you know better, you do better, right? So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about annoying people and how we have to start showing up to them, or at least showing up in a way where we're not surrounded by them as much. Okay, so let's talk about the possible causes of people being annoying, right? So when you're thinking about annoying people, this is my list of shit that fucking aggravates me. And I would love to know how many of them aggravate you too. So here's my list of people that annoy me. Okay. So this is all about, like I sat and I wrote in my little book, like what pisses me off about people. And this is what came up for me. Are you guys ready? Okay. So number one is the inability to read social cues or boundaries. So many fucking people have no sense of boundaries and they cannot read social cues. And I'm not talking about autism. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm not talking about anything like that. I'm talking about just like an everyday, normal, typical fucking person. Okay. So don't come to me with like, dude, Katie, you know, I love on the spectrum. I'm like, listen, one of my favorite shows. I'm not talking about these people. Okay. I'm not talking about these people. I'm talking about typical people. So the inability to read social cues and boundaries, people who are impulsive, and they also like lack impulse control. Like they can't, you know how much shit that I want to fucking say to people on a daily basis and I hold back because I know that I'm going to hurt someone's fucking feelings. And it's like, is it really worth saying this to start a war today? Do I have the energy to start a war today? I really have to ask myself that. But there's so many fucking people who have no impulse. They have no impulse control whatsoever. Okay. The next one is insecurity. People who are insecure literally grind my fucking gears because I'm like, what are you insecure about? And it's always the people who you think shouldn't be insecure are the ones that are insecure or that have low self-esteem. There's nothing more self-deprecating when someone's like, talking about like, oh, I know, but like my skin or my this, or I don't, or this, my thighs. I'm just like, shut the fuck up. Like, you're not the only person that has bad skin and fucking their ass looks like they've been sitting in a gravel driveway for a week. Okay. Like, join the fucking club. My ass looks like a fucking top flight ball. Okay. And I fucking ruck every day and I squeeze it and I lift weights. So fuck off. The next one is attention seeking behavior. We all know that bitch. Anxiety or nervousness, which leads to overcompensation. Ugh, like yuck. Narcissism, it's double yuck, triple yuck. Self-centeredness, which is always about me. It's me, me, me. It's the whoever show. They're disrespectful or dismissive towards other people. And then people who lack empathy or consideration for other people's feelings. Again, I actually am in the opposite, where I always think like, if I say this to this person, like, how is it going to affect them? You know? And I think I'm pretty good with that, because if I really wanted to say half the shit that I wanted to really say to people, it would be a fucking bloodbath on a daily basis, right? Now, here's some behaviors that are associated with being a motherfucking annoyance, okay? Again, they ignore the social cues and boundaries. People who make inappropriate jokes or comments, oh my God, I can't fucking stand that. It's like, are you all right, brother? Being unreliable, being flaky. I had food poisoning a couple weeks ago, and I'm the president of the Women's Service Club in my town. And we had the biggest meeting of the year, and I was so fucking sick, and I was literally going to drag myself to this thing because I didn't want to flake out on all the women that were relying on me. But I had to say to myself, like, I never flake out. I'm so reliable. I never do this type of stuff. The people who matter don't mind, and the people who mind don't matter. But there's so many people who would just be like, fuck it, who cares, you know? And I had to think so deeply about it, to the point where I was like making myself more sick because I was like perseverating and ruminating about it. I'm not talking about that energy. I'm talking about like those people who are like, they're so unreliable. They always flake out. They're the ones that cancel on you. Like if you're going out to dinner or whatever, like at 20 minutes before. Another thing that I hate that's so fucking annoying is people who complain excessively, and they complain about the same shit sometimes for years and years and years, and they never fucking change anything. And I have to say to people sometimes, and I have a lot of people in my life that I have to be like, hey, I love you, but like, this is making me upset, because every time I talk to you, you talk about the same fucking shit, and I actually give you advice and you still don't take it and you still don't use it. I'm fucking done. And I've said this to my own mother. Like, there's certain things that my mom will say to me, and I'll be like, Teresa, I love you, but like, you're never going to change this. And I just think like, if you really love me, you'll stop talking about this, because it's making me so upset. And, you know, sometimes she's good about it, sometimes she's not good about it. And I have to keep reminding her, because I do have those good communication skills with people like that. And I love my mother. So it's like, you know, this is a very special and important relationship to me. So I'm going to say how I feel. It doesn't mean it's going to change her totally, but it does like kind of keep her on her toes for a while. And then, you know, she slips back into old habits. But a lot of people are like that. And I'm sure I do this shit like that too. And I have good people around me that do call me the carpet, which is good. But complaining excessively and not doing anything about it and being in that victim mentality, like, ugh, blow me. Being overly competitive, cannot stand that energy. Being an arrogant person, not my vibe. When people invade your personal space, ew. I hate, oh my God. And I'm sure you all know this person. People who are like talk excessively loudly, or they talk too much, but it's not even about talking too much as much as it is like you go out to dinner and everyone's like, one person's like screaming at the table and you're like, you're all right. Like, can't you read the fucking room? I actually had a meeting with a girl the other day, and she would talk like that. And all of a sudden she would get really loud. And I'm like, why are you yelling? We're in my fucking office. Like, what are you trying to talk? You're all right. And I'm like, is this person mentally ill? Like, I literally look at sometimes people and I'm like, what is wrong with you? And I don't want to fucking like, I'm not Freud. I'm not here to nitpick people's psychology, but I'm just like, that can be a lot. Of course, being overly critical, not only of other people, but of themselves. That's kind of like a low vibrational frequency energy I try to avoid like the plague. People who are very nitpicky, don't love that either. And people who interrupt people when they speak. I Like everyone's going to get a chance to talk. Like have you ever have you ever been with someone who you're talking to them and you know that they cannot fucking wait for you to say what you're going to say so that they can talk? Am I the only person that ever has this happen to them? That is so fucking annoying to me. Now, here's some kind of attitudes that people bring to the table that can be associated with being an annoying motherfucker. So lack of empathy, definitely number one. Again, talking too loudly and excessively, disrespectful behavior towards others, and sometimes themselves, depending on who they are. Again, interrupting the conversations, being argumentative, being a confrontational person, ignoring people's boundaries, ignoring their personal space, being super self-centered, constantly seeking validation, constantly seeking attention, right? I can't tell you, every person that I thought about when I was writing these lists, there were very specific people that I had in my mind that I'm like, okay, this definitely aligns with this behavior or this energy or whatever. And these are not people that I have really in my life. They're just not. I just don't attract those type of people anymore. I don't allow it. And I don't want to feel that way. You know, my time is very valuable when I spend time with people or I coach people or I do events with people or I'm out with people. I deeply desire that time to be well spent. Like one night I went out with a bunch of girls and I really I wanted it. I'm going to use the W word. I wanted it. I wanted this, it was like some fucking dessert. And I was like, oh my God. So I ate this like little bit of food and I don't know, this is like my old fucking anorexic days when I was competing and shit like that. By the way, I was anorexic and bulimic. So when people say that I body shame people, I'm like, shut the fuck up. Anywho, so I remember I was like, okay, I'm going to eat this small bit of food so I can have this dessert. And I'm still working on that in my own self, right? And I remember the person turned to me and she was like, oh, you're ordering dessert? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, you can't order dessert. You're supposed to be a good role model for us. Like, you can't eat dessert around us. And I know that she was like trying to be funny, but I was like, do you know who the fuck I am and like what I've gone through with my body and my eating disorder, and like all this shit. And I was like, okay, note to self, you never come out to dinner with us again. And guess what? I never went out to dinner with her for the rest of my life. And I will never go out to dinner with her. It's not that I don't like her as a person. I just know like when I'm out with my friends eating, because I've had such disordered eating. And for me, eating is so pleasurable and it's so fun that I don't want anyone to ever comment about what I'm eating or what I'm not eating or how I'm eating or how much I'm eating or how little I'm eating. Like, shut your fucking mouth. And that to me is so annoying, and it's so annoying to the place that I won't even fucking be friends with you. I won't even look at you. I won't even talk to you. Like, once you cross that line with me, like, I know this is hardcore, but there's no coming back from it. And she never apologized to me. And, I did say it bothered me, but like that just really, it fucking went up my ass sideways. And this person's a very kind person, but I just don't think that sometimes people put themselves in other people's shoes enough. They don't have that empathy, that lack that empathy. And I think that also people think that they're funny and they're not funny. It's like, honey, you're not fucking Andrew Dice Clay. You know what I'm saying? You're not George Carlin. You're not fucking Bill Burr. Shut your fucking mouth. People who have really annoying emotions and characters are they're aggravating. They're displeasurable to be around. They're impatient. They're irritable. They're resentful. They're angry all the time. They're frustrated. And they harbor a lot of, hostility. And there's a lot of body language that goes with that. There's a lot of, facial expressions that go with that. Like, someone's just like not fucking all there, I just don't desire to hang out with people that way. I also don't like to be interviewed when I'm being friends with people. Like, I can't stand going to dinner with people and they like interview you. Have you ever had a friend like that? They like asked you like all these interviews. It's almost like you're at a pageant interview and you're like, what the fuck? Why are you asking me this? Like, I'm just here to have Aperol Spritz and have some fucking food. Like, fuck off. So this is something that's been up my ass sideways. Sometimes if I feel like shit's been up my ass, it's probably up your ass out there in Ambitchious land. like I said on my last podcast, I think that people are growing more and more crazy and audacious on a daily basis. I think that what used to happen in the 80s and the 90s is when people acted like fools, they got knocked the fuck out. And I think that we don't knock people the fuck out anymore, right? We're trying to be like peace, love, and hair grease. But I think that sometimes we have to knock people the fuck out with our words and our boundaries. And we have to tell people, like, you're not going to talk to me like that. I'm not going to allow you to act like this towards me. And I think that that's okay to do that. Sometimes people need to be put in their place. And I know, again, this sounds really aggressive, but if I'm feeling this way, a lot of you out there are probably feeling the same way. This could be the love of your life. This could be your spouse. This could be your best friend. This could be your mother, your parent, your child. This doesn't just have to be an annoying person that you see at the bank or an annoying person you see at, like, pickup for your kids at school. This could be someone that's very close to you, which makes it even more difficult. So I guess what I'm trying to say here is what I've been noticing about myself is when I'm feeling this way, it's a call for me as an ambitious woman who takes radical responsibility within herself to grow and evolve so that we can become stronger, so that we can not attract these type of people. And if we do have these people in our lives and we desire these people to stay in our lives, we're trying to make it so it's a pleasurable experience and not a constantly annoying experience. So what do we have to do as ambitious women to take radical responsibility around the annoying motherfuckers that are flying around us like flies, like mosquitoes? Because I bet you any money, if you are an ambitious woman, you are definitely 100% a light. You're a high vibrational frequency human. So you're going to attract vampirical, parasitical energy to you. It's just the way it is. When you're a light, you attract the darkness. You attract the creepy crawlies. That's just part of the human design that you were, born with. And it sucks to be awesome. Sometimes it sucks to be awesome. I hate to say it, but it's true, right? So if you have people like this in your life or a person, I'm gonna tell you how I'm working on this in my own life, and hopefully you can adopt some of these things into your own life. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is we are going to show our own vulnerability, right? If we reveal our own fears, if we reveal our own annoyances, if we reveal our own anxiety and things that make us feel not enough, sometimes it gives other people who have that weakness and those insecurities, it makes you a more relatable human. And then sometimes it helps them take their guard down a little bit. A lot of people, when I tell people, oh, I have anxiety, I get depressed, I'm very melancholic, I'm very dark, I think a lot of things that aren't for my highest, greatest good, people will be like, really, Katie? And I think it gives people permission to be like, wow, I'm not a weirdo. Because I don't think I'm a weirdo. I mean, I am a fucking weird bitch, but I don't feel like I'm a weirdo. Like, I don't feel like people look at me and go, she's a fucking weirdo. Maybe they do. I don't know. No one's really called me. They call me a lot of things lately, but not a weirdo. But I feel like the more that we become more vulnerable in that way, it really truly does give other people permission to do the same, which is so empowering and it's so liberating. The next thing is we should form new relationships as well. The more new relationships that we form, it also, helps us to challenge our beliefs, and it helps us challenge our values, and it helps us think outside the box. Because sometimes people are pissing us off because it's something inside of us that's triggering us that we may be hiding in the shadows, or that we may be feeling not enoughness about, like I noticed something about people who annoy me. It's like I have all those things within me that are so fucking annoying. But because I'm hyper aware, I tend to push those things down and I let the good things rise to the top, where those people just let their fucking freak flag fly. And they're just like, I'm going to be a weird motherfucking bitch. I'm going to be an annoying bitch today. I'm going to be fucking resentful and cunty and all the things, where I won't let myself be that way because I don't want to be seen that way to people. So I almost get like jealous. I'm going to say this honestly. Sometimes I get jealous because I'm like, I want to be a fucking cunt today. I want to tell people to go screw. I want to be anxious and depressed and weird, but I don't allow myself to do that. And I think sometimes I get jealous because I'm like, why can they be total fuck ups? Why can they be total assholes and I have to be perfect? I actually don't have to do that. I'm choosing to do that. That's why my life is more successful. That's why my life is more loving and kind, and I have better experiences with people because I don't act like a fool. But a lot of other people just let their fucking flag fly and they don't give a fuck. And I think that that's the shadow thing. So I think that making new connections with new people is huge, but also understanding that when people are triggering you that way, it's because that you have that within you. You're just not allowing it to come to fruition. You're not letting it, it rear its ugly head, if you will. The next thing is we have to really allow ourselves and the people that we're surrounded with that are annoying to face the challenges that are put in front of us, right? It's going to force ourselves, it's going to force those other people to really reassess their priorities, to reassess their values, to really kind of check themselves, to kind of go to that place and say, like, how am I really showing up? Like, is this kind? Is this loving? Is this of my highest, greatest good? Am I bringing love and light to the world, or am I bringing dog shit to the world? Because 98% of the human population, I hate to say this, and I know a lot of people will challenge me, but I know that this was true. They bring shit to the world. They're not getting up every morning like I am and people like me and saying, like, how am I going to help more people? They're asking the wrong questions. And I think people like us are asking the right questions. So we really, truly have to allow people to, become wiser, become stronger, to stand in their power more. But if they don't know that they're being assholes because we're not telling them, like, they're never going to understand in the first place. And that leads me to my next kind of comment is we got to let go of control. If we walk around every day, I know, okay, this is so against ambitious, it's like everything is total control of yourself. But I think that in this instance, we have to let go of control because Michael Singer in Untethered Soul talks about this. It's very eloquent the way he puts it. He says, like, everyone has a samskara, and a samskara is just a Sanskrit word that means a thorn or a stamp. And like, for some people, it's your, growing up very poor. For some people, you maybe have been sexually assaulted. For some people, you may have been abused, or you may have something funky with your body or your face that, whatever. Okay. It's this thing that and Michael Singer in Untethered Soul talks about this a lot. It's like, instead of just ripping out the thorn, that is the samskara, we put like gauze around it, and then we put bubble wrap around it, and then we put like circus peanuts around it, and then we put all this shit around it instead of just ripping it the fuck out, right? So sometimes we have to say, I'm going to release the control around this. I'm not going to go around and every little thing that triggers me, wrap it in bubble wrap and keep it safe so no one touches it, no one bumps into it, and no one causes pain with it. I'm going to rip the fucking thing out. Or the other way you can do it is if you go throughout your day to day and say, like, okay, I know that this thing, I don't like it, or this person's really annoying me, or this person is saying something that's making me feel some sort of way. I can't address everything. Like my grandmother always used to say to me, a queen does not leave her throne to address peasants throwing stones. And what that means is, you can't fucking address every little gripe and grievance. I think it was Winston Churchill that said, and I'm going to butcher this, but he pretty much said, if I have to kick every barking dog on the way to where I'm going, I'll never get there. And it's true. It's like we have to like let a little bit of control go, because if every day we just nitpicked at like every little thing that made us feel annoyed and like aggravated and then we're going to live a very unhappy life. So sometimes it's like really like let go and let God, and this is something that I deal with on a daily basis. Like I could literally fuck people up from the moment I wake up in the morning till the moment my fucking head hits the pillow every fucking day if I really wanted to. But I'm like, is that going to make me a happy person? Is that going to make me feel fulfilled and loving and kind and excited to be alive? Probably not. But do you know how many people that don't feel good about their lives every day, but that kick every fucking barking dog? And so we do have to let go of that control. And we have to also, become super self-aware. We need to develop more empathy for these people because, like it says, like, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. Like when Jesus was being crucified and he was on he was on that cross and he was talking to God and he was like, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. Honeys, 98% of the human population, they don't even fucking know what they're doing on a daily basis. They have no fucking clue. They don't. They're not like, oh, I hope I didn't upset Katie today. I hope I didn't upset this one. I hope I didn't upset that one. They don't even fucking know how to wipe their own fucking pussies after they take a piss. And I'm not trying to be disgusting. I mean this, guys. Like, you really give people way too much play. We all give people way too much of the benefit of the doubt. We think that everyone is living at our level of consciousness, and I'm telling you right now that they, my friend, are not. They are not. And if we think that everyone is living at our level of consciousness, and we think that everyone every day is like trying to show up in a high vibrational frequency way, we're going to live and lead a very, very, very disappointed life. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to leave this earth being a disappointed hoe. Okay. So understanding that people are living at their own level of consciousness is a pretty dope way to live. And it's helped me so many times get out of that what the fuck energy, because I thrive in a what the fuck energy. I live for it. I want to fuck people up. I want to fucking fight with everyone. That is just like my baseline, because it's what I knew from childhood. It's what I knew from my young adulthood. And I'm not that fucking scrappy bitch anymore. And I have to remember that. Okay. So please, guys, please do not think that everyone is living at your level of consciousness. Do not think that everyone has your heart, because if you do, you are going to be a sad fucking bitch. You're going to be a sad bitch. And the last thing I'm going to say, and this is fun, is we got to develop a sense of humor around these motherfuckers, because I pinky swear promise you that 99.9% of these people are never going to understand what the fuck that they're doing. And if you are holding your breath, waiting for them to change, you're going to die. Okay. You're going to die emotionally, energetically, spiritually, you name it. So we got to develop a sense of humor. We got to laugh. Like my little niece, Ava, shout out to Ava. Ava Save-A-Lot is what I call her. My sister's little girl. She's not a little girl anymore. She's fucking 18 years old. But she always does this fucking laugh. Like every time someone's acting foolish, she'll look at me and she'll be like, and she'll open her face like really wide and she'll like look back. And I'm like, we got to do the Ava laugh. We got to fucking do the Ava laugh. We literally have to laugh at these people because they are fucking fools. And we are trying, anytime that you start scrapping with fools, you're going to become a clown. You know, what is that old, I think it's an old Polish, not my circus, not my monkeys, it's really true. So listen, no one's more aggravated on a fucking daily basis than I am. I think it's also because I'm so hyper aware of energies and how people are showing up in the world. But I'm here to tell you that if we keep living like this, if we're annoyed every fucking day of our lives, like, why are we alive? Like, life is not worth living if we're not having fun. Now, I'm not saying that everything is going to be fucking roses and champagne. Sometimes things are going to be a shit sandwich, and that's okay. But if we're living every day of our lives and we're like, fuck this person, fuck that person, fuck this shit, why'd the person say this to me? Why is that person looking at me like that? Why is that person over there talking loud? Why are they chewing loud? Why are they this? Why are they that? We are going to be so fucking sad, and our lives are going to be so trash. And I'm like, did God really put us here on this earth to have a trash, sad, fucking annoyed, resentful, cunty life? I don't know about you, but I wasn't put here for that. I hope that you realize that you weren't either. And I hope that you listen to this today and you start stepping up, standing in your power, and controlling the things that you can't control and letting everything roll off your back. Seriously, because that's the only way to live an ambitious life. I hope that this podcast brought you some sense of value and service today. That's obviously my purpose. If you're ready to take your life to the next level, reach out to me. Let's get on a discovery call. Let's see if you need some mentorship. Let's see if you are going to thrive on the Ambitchious app, or maybe at Katie Boyd's Misfit Club, or at an upcoming event. I'm more than happy to do it, and it's totally complimentary. Just go to kbmfc.com and sign up for your discovery call by filling out a short questionnaire. And like I always say, don't forget to stay ambitious, and I'll see you next Tuesday.